All right, let's cut across to Avik Saha as well. Mr. Saha, the government has come out and said, you could call it a form of desperation. They say they've tried everything to find a headway. They haven't been able to. Now what?
I am unhappy that in democratic India, a government has to be desperate. That was never the intention of the farmers' organizations. The farmers' organizations were clear that, look, you are calling these laws, you've made these laws, admittedly, for welfare of the farmers. We don't see our welfare in it. Put it aside. And we will tell you what our welfare is in, and let's make new laws. So the government pushed itself into a corner by being desperate. I personally think this whole thing is about managing the image of the Prime Minister. You know, this infallible, godlike person who can never go wrong. And this is not really a desperation. This is a critical moment in the government's attempt to manage the Prime Minister, the chief political asset of the BJP. And this is what the problem is. So unless the government understands that it is governing India and not acting only in interest of one person or one political party, there will never be a solution. The government now needs to come forward and act positively and not desperately. We don't want the government to be desperate. We want the government to be sensible, sensitive, and to help the farmers realize and achieve their basic demand that we need assured income. We need guaranteed income like every other citizen of the country.
All right. Okay, stay with me. Let's bring in the BJP spokesperson, Mr. Tom Vadakkan. Mr. Vadakkan, you know, since yesterday, after the proposal went from the government, we've spoken to many farm unions. And if I could come out with only one basic demand, which is they say you do whatever you want to, but it's very clear that they want minimum support price, MSP, to be hardwired into the law. Not as written assurance, nothing to do with APMC, but MSP to be hardwired into the law. And the government hasn't at least accepted that demand of theirs, because if you do, it goes against your bill. The bills will be infractious.
Preeti, nobody is desperate. Let me get that very clear. And it is not about the image that Mr. Saha and his team is talking about. If there's anything that the Prime Minister stands for, his pro-farmer position. And Saha and company can say what they want about the Prime Minister, but let me tell you, if there's been any Prime Minister who has his heart close to the farmer, that is the current Prime Minister. Let that be very candidly said. Now, Mr. Saha and company is headed by, I'm not going into the group. Now, when it becomes a politico-agricultural protest, the players are, whether it is, they are multiple, you know, they are like the octopus.
Mr. Vadakkan, are you calling it a political protest because it's just not Mr. Saha or any other, you know?
No, let me complete, Preeti,
yes,
let me complete.
Please.
This is like an octopus operation. The Saha and company, their hands are with the anti-CA, they are there in the Sahin Bagh, they're all everywhere. When we are talking to the farmers understand us. But this variety of new interpretations...
No. Mr. Vadakkan, let's not. No. Let's not divert from the topic. Why I'm saying not true is, yesterday 10 farm unions came out and spoke after the proposal was rejected, sir.
Let me put my point across. Let them contradict it after that.
Okay. No, sir. But you know, I'll tell you why. Mr. Vadakkan.
I thought this was a free country.
No, Mr. Vadakkan, I'm going to... Just hear me out,
sir. I'm not a liar. Please, Mr. Sahin.
1 second. Okay. Can we all calm down? 1 second.
I dare you.
No. Okay, no, Mr. Vadakkan, while you might want to, Mr. Vadakkan, you have...
You're an ultra...
1 second, Mr. Vadakkan, hear me out, sir. Mr. Vadakkan, hear me out, 1 second.
Yes.
You have your point of view, which is great, but don't discredit other farmers and other farm unions as well, who have their point. It's not that they are in agreement as well, sir.
I'm not talking about the farmers.
Okay.
Farmers are in agreement with the government on a variety of issues. This is probably the first government that has walked that extra mile and is ready to discuss everything threadbare.
1 second. Okay, then Mr. Vadakkan.
Yes.
Mr. Chima, are you associated with anti-CA protest? Have you been associated with Shaheen Bagh, sir?
I did not mention Mr. Chima.
But, sir, he's very much a part of the same table, no? He's the one who's holding the same point of views.
I'm talking about Mr. Saha.
But sir, you cannot whitewash an entire agitation on Mr. Saha's political affiliation.
I'm saying Preeti. I didn't say your name. When I mentioned a person, I'm specific to that person. He can bring a defamation notice against me if he thinks I'm wrong. I'll stand the course.
You're not worth it.
I'm ready to.
You're not worth it.
So I'll go
Okay.
to the. I'll
One second. Okay, can we not get into personal commentary? Can we just go back? Okay. Mr. Vadakkan, you know what we'll be doing is you will be doing the biggest disservice right now to make this personal and to get into this trajectory of debate. Let's stick to the topic. There are farm unions who want answers. Let's talk